Hello. Okay, we got to get through this. Now, I don't know how long I'm going to read because it's after midnight. Look, Roku City. It's after midnight and I just got home from work. And yeah, but I thought I better read because honestly, every day is just crazy town. Like, I don't know. And I'm trying to take as many shifts as possible because I need that coin. But I'm also like driving myself bananas in the process. Just thinking tomorrow. So if I work from 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Yeah. That might be fine. I don't know. Okay. I'm just trying to think. Because I got to get hours in at the library. Okay. Anyway. All right. So we're just, look how inflamed my skin is. I almost started reading another book tonight just because I feel so tired that I don't know if I can handle this book. Like, because sometimes it's, I don't know, is wordy the right word? I almost grabbed Irma Bombeck because she makes me laugh my pants off, but then I thought maybe there'd be a revolt. But someday I'm going to read Irma Bombeck just for fun. Look at the lines on my neck. I feel like some nights they're more pronounced than others. It's very strange. Maybe I was sitting like this all night. I was just counting like the till. All right. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's just do it. I'm so tired, guys, that I'm like dreading to start. I just want to read something fun and lighthearted that makes me laugh. I'm tempted. I'm like, should I grab it right now? No, because no one will listen. No one's going to listen to Irma Bombeck. Like, I don't even know if anyone knows who Irma Bombeck is anymore. And I mean, if you ever need a book to read on an airplane, she has me in stitches. I don't know when she passed away, in the 90s, I think. But anyway, she wrote a column for, I forget which newspaper, and it ended up, she eventually was syndicated. And no, Joey, no. You can't climb all over everything. You have to get down. Okay, gently. Anyway, she was, I don't want to say she was a housewife, because I mean, she was a wife. And I think she did work from home, like with her writing, and she raised a family, but she was so hilarious. And she was always making these like really funny observations about like what it is to be like a wife and a mother and a daughter and a friend. She was like a stand-up comedian, but with words. And I just love her. But anyway, let's read the Royals. Chapter 21. Members of the British royal family were starting to look like impostors. They wore jewels dressed up in gold braid and rode in carriages, but they did not behave like royalty. They tried to appear brave and true, but they were not even good-hearted. They did not understand royalty's obligation to behave with probity, to bestow kindness, to set a good example. The traditions of royalty passed on by literature and by art seemed to have bypassed them. They had forgotten the legends of King Arthur and his shining knights of the Round Table. Many of their loyal subjects, once enthralled by royalty, became disenchanted. Some became indifferent. Some turned faintly negative. Some were decidedly hostile. The public's respect, even reverence for the crown, had eroded severely. I'm so bad at this word. Was no longer automatic. Only the Queen Mother, bobbing along in her feathers and veil, seemed capable of inspiring genuine affection. The Queen, who had reluctantly agreed to pay taxes, trim the civil list, yes, and also stop giving free bars of soap to her staff, open Buckingham Palace, and give up the Britannia, was barely accorded customary curtsies. Curtsies? Or courtesies? Courtesies. In a breach of civility, she was not consulted when Britain's National Blood Service removed the crown from its insignia. Her representative was mooned in New Zealand by a Maori protester who bared his tattooed buttocks and spat on the ground. And in South Africa, she was asked by the government to return the Cullinan diamonds, which had been presented to her great-grandfather, Edward VII. The royal family was sinking in its own muck, and their problems were as unpleasant as rotting possums under the country's front porch. The press began fuming. London's Sunday Times summed it up for anti-royalists. Gone with the Windsors. The New York Times was equally pun-ridden. Windsors and losers. Monarchists looking for a morality play to guide them had been shoved into a lurid soap opera, complete with illicit sex, phone sex, foot sex, and according to Charles's valet, garden sex. The grass-stained pajamas the prince had worn during a romp in the Highgrove Gardens with his mistress. Wait. Oh, I literally skipped 2 whole lines. Garden sex. The valet, who sold his secrets to a tabloid, asserted that he had found the grass-stained pajamas the prince had worn during a romp in the Highgrove Gardens with his mistress. The media, once monarchy's obedient servant, had become the master. So many rumors were circulating that the palace broke its usual stance of no comment and began responding to the most salacious gossip. When scuttlebutt persisted about the health of Prince Andrew, courtiers denied that he was HIV positive. Our stand on the rumors has been constant, a palace official told the Sun's royal correspondent. Any suggestion that the Duke of York has AIDS is utter rubbish. He is in command of servicemen, and there is no way he would be allowed to continue his duties if there was any question about his health and fitness. The rumors arose after Andrew's wife, Sarah Ferguson, had been tested for AIDS 3 times. Her previous drug use and her continued promiscuity with drug users raised concern about what she might have transmitted to her husband. His closest friends worried but said nothing to him. "We wouldn't dare," said a woman friend, "and we certainly would say nothing derogatory." I was like, wouldn't say nothing derogatory? Who's this? "And we certainly would say nothing derogatory about Sarah. He won't hear a word against her." 4 months after the palace denied that Andrew had AIDS, he resigned from the Navy. He said that as a single father, he needed to spend more time with his children. Others suggested the lieutenant commander was resigning after 17 years because he was not qualified for promotion to commander. The Navy quickly issued a statement saying that Andrew was a highly competent and reliable officer. Traditionally, military service validates male members of the royal family as manly and patriotic. The 34-year-old Duke of York had served in the Royal Navy like his father, a decorated Navy veteran of World War II, and his grandfather, Prince Albert, who took part in the Battle of Jutland in World War I, and later became King George VI. Andrew had distinguished himself as a helicopter pilot during the battle in the Falklands. With his resignation from the military, no longer was a Prince of Royal Blood serving in Her Majesty's service. Forces. Oh, Lord. So sorry, you guys. I'm so tired. I am exhausted. I saw someone tonight that I hadn't seen for a while, and he was like, "Oh my God, your hair's different. Something's different about you." And I'm like, yeah, I literally have makeup on my face. That's what's different. I have eyebrows. They're not real. Oh my gosh. Okay. Why did I just tell you that? Honestly, I'm so tired that I can't string my thoughts together. I'm so confused. We're 9 minutes in. Okay. His younger brother, Edward, had joined the Marines, but after 90 days in uniform, he quit. We saw that in the magazine that we read. His resignation disturbed his family greatly. His mother implored him to reconsider, saying he would no longer be allowed to wear a military uniform on ceremonial occasions. His sister Anne feared that he would be branded a quitter and a weakling. But Edward, then 22 years old, said he could not continue with the tough commando training. His father, honorary Captain General of the Royal Marines, shouted at him to pull himself together to spare the royal family embarrassment. The young prince broke down and cried for hours. But the next day he resigned his commission. The headline in the New York Post, "The Weeping Wimp of Windsor." He's the baby of the family. Come on. What do you expect? Of course he's going to cry. Poor thing. Prince Philip wrote to the Marine Commandant, expressing his dissatisfaction. "This is naturally very disappointing," he wrote, "but I can't help feeling that the blaze of publicity did not make things any easier for him. I think he now has to face a very difficult problem of readjustment." When Philip's personal letter was published in a newspaper, the Queen sued the paper and won damages, but by then the country knew of the father's dashed hopes for his son. A comedian on British television announced, "Rumors abound that Prince Philip fathered an unwanted son who has threatened to embarrass him ever since." Long pause. "His name is Edward." When the young prince decided to become an actor, can a prince do that? Like, that seems, okay, it just seems cheesy. That's unfair. It's unfair for me to say that it's cheesy because, goodness knows anyone can do whatever they want to do. But I don't know why. I just think that seems a little it seems a little tacky for some reason. I don't know. I guess that's because we have this idea that royalty is supposed to dedicate their lives to some form of service. Okay. He joined Andrew Lloyd Webber's acting company. He was further ridiculed. Columnist Talkie complained in The Spectator that Edward is paid out of the public purse to pursue a theatrical career and a sordid bachelor's. I mean, yeah, I think that's the problem, is that if you want to be an actor, that's fine, but you have to cease to take funds from the public because you are no longer a public servant. You're an actor. If you watched Arrested Development, that is one of my favorite shows of all time, and that's why I keep saying, "I'm Mr. Manager." It's a reference to Arrested Development. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I mean, I apologize, but I just think of Tobias when he decides to become an actor, and anyway, that's kind of how I imagine Edward, "I have decided to be an actor." He's so excited. The hint of the prince's homosexuality, previously only whispered, was now hinted at in print. Was he bi? The press snidely characterized him as the Queen's youngest son, a confirmed bachelor. The sexual innuendo became a yapping, I don't know, bit of film dialogue in the Australian movie Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, when one transvestite asked another transvestite, this is an old book, okay, so it says transvestite, "Can the child of an old queen turn out all right? Well, look at Prince Charles." "Yes, but there's still a question about Prince Edward." Whether an outrageous slur or sly truth-telling, the insinuation of homosexuality was treated as fact. When Prince William enrolled at Eton, the headmaster censored an article in the school magazine that claimed the royal family was full of homosexuals. He said he did not want to upset the student prince. But the insinuation resurfaced in The New Yorker, where novelist Julian Barnes wrote of the seemingly unmarriageable Edward. What? He's 22. What are you talking about? Unmarriageable? That maybe this was later. I don't know. In a lecture at the Smithsonian, historian David Cannadine opined, "The Queen is worried that Edward is not divorced. She thinks he's not normal." Writer Christopher Hitchens said in an interview, "Gay friends of mine refer to Prince Edward as Dishcloth Doris. Skirts down, they'll shout, 'Here comes Dishcloth Doris.'" Dishcloth Doris. I don't know why that's striking me so funny. Gore Vidal later corrected Hitchens. "He's not Dishcloth Doris," said Vidal. "He's Dockyard Doris." When gossipist Nigel Dempster wrote in the Daily Mail that Edward had a touching friendship with a male actor. The young prince finally responded angrily. During a visit to New York City, he snapped at reporters and said, "I am not gay." Really? Really, Edward? I don't know. I wonder. It would be hard. I don't think there's been an openly gay royal. You know? That would be interesting. When the Queen's 31-year-old son started dating Sophie Rhys-Jones, their romance was disparaged by one newspaper as arranged for public consumption. The tabloids speculated that the tall blonde prince and his attractive girlfriend, was he blonde? I always thought of him as brunette, or sort of gingerish, were decoys put forward by the palace to divert attention from the rest of the family. Edward, always prickly about criticism, faxed London's news organizations and demanded that reporters leave me and my girlfriend alone and give us privacy. I shouldn't laugh. It is awful. It is terrible. Poor guy. You know, maybe he is gay. Maybe he's bi. I don't know. Who knows? But it's just like, leave Brittany alone. That's what it makes me think of. The Queen obliged by letting it be known she had given permission for Sophie to spend nights with Edward at his apartment at Buckingham Palace. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that the Queen is like, okay, can you please make it public that she spends the night? This is the thing. It's like, I don't know. Their morality is ever changing. I mean, not that I'm certainly the last person to say like, oh, that's immoral. I don't think so. But what I mean is, it's like, you know, with Andrew and Fergie and Charles and Diana, I'd be like, oh, hush, 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 hush. No. They did not, spend the night together. No. But now she's like, oh, can you please make this known to the public? It's like whatever suits them in the moment. Like whatever, I don't know. It's a little annoying sometimes. Okay. Beep, beep, beep. So he's not gay. Leave me and my girlfriend alone. And Sophie's spending the night. The Archdeacon of York scolded Her Majesty for allowing the couple to live in sin. We still look to the royal family to set an example. Oh, yeah, I forgot that she's technically the head of the church. So, yeah, she probably should have thought that one through a little bit. I don't know what's happening. He said, urging the Windsors to return to the values of no sex before marriage. The Queen ignored the clergyman, and Prince Philip called him a pompous ass. In June of 94, the Prince of Wales yanked the loose thread of monarchy and watched in dismay as the ancient tapestry began unraveling. No, Joseph, you have to get down. He admitted on television that he had been unfaithful to his wife, but despite his adultery, he asserted that he would still be king. All my life, he said, I have been brought up to carry out my duty. The television interview conducted by Jonathan Dimbleby had been calculated by the prince as his tit for her tat. His big bow-wow journalist would muffle the tiny arf of her tabloid lapdog. What a strange sentence. While Andrew Morton's book had put the camel's nose under the tent, Jonathan Dimbleby's book brought the tent crashing down. In presenting his version of his marriage, Charles had ignored proverbial wisdom. If you seek revenge, dig 2 graves. But Charles discarded the advice of his family, his friends, and his mistress, who had warned that nothing good could come of his candor. His beloved grandmother said she would have nothing to do with the project. But his private secretary, Commander Richard Aylard, had played... No, you have to stop it. Stop it. Had played to his pride and his vanity by arguing that he had to reclaim his status. Put your side of the case, sir, he said. Aylard convinced him that his best chance was to cooperate with the journalist and give him unprecedented access to personal letters and diaries. The zealous equerry was determined to help the prince get even with the princess. How idiotic do you have to be? Like, unprecedented access? Like, this is a bad idea. I'm just so confused at why everyone just seems to be like, no, no, not everyone, because a lot of people are telling him like, no, 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 bad idea. Um, okay. The zealous equerry was determined to help the prince get even with the princess. He felt that Dimbleby would be the most devoted vessel and vassal. Aylard envisioned a 1-2 punch, starting with a flattering documentary, Charles, the private man, the public role, followed by a laudatory book, The Prince of Wales. In the television interview, Charles tried to prove his worth as statesman by tackling the touchy subjects of religion, politics, and sex. He presented himself as qualified to become philosopher king, an Oxbridge graduate, artist, get down, mines sweeper, skipper, organic farmer, businessman, philanthropist, sportsman, ambassador, humanitarian. He complained about the media and the level of intrusion, persistent, endless, carping, pontificating, criticizing, examining, inventing the soap opera constantly, trying to turn everyone into celebrities. He also spoke about the monarch's role as defender of the faith, saying he would prefer not representing one religion, but rather all religions. Most memorable, though, was his admission of infidelity. Gobsmacked, said the tabloids after hearing the Prince of Wales own up to adultery on television. While they pounded him, his supporters praised him. Historian Elizabeth Longford applauded his honesty, but most people were just plain appalled. The Sun set up a "You the Jury" telephone poll and reported that 2/3 of those who called said they did not want Charles to become king, ever. The Daily Mirror ran an editorial on the front page. He is not the first royal to be unfaithful, far from it, but he is the first to appear before 25 million of his subjects to confess. This is crazy. The Scout Association considered altering its pledge of duty to God and the monarchy. We extol the virtues of honesty, integrity, and the sanctity of marriage, said an association spokesman. But Prince Charles does not represent those virtues. Jonathan Dimbleby defended him on the radio as a deeply spiritual man. He kneels to pray every night, said the biographer. Unmoved, one listener called in to say that kneeling down to pray is easy. It's getting up to behave well that takes stamina. Oh, that's good. That's the truth. That's the truth. Oh my gosh. Okay, I gotta stop. Guys, I'm so tired and it's 1 a.m. or whatever it is, and I have to go take a shower and I gotta wash this makeup off my face and I gotta get some sleep and I have to be to work by 8:30, so okay. So sorry that it's so short. Oh my gosh, but something's got to give, eventually I will find my niche. I'll find my way back. Okay. Views are down so low. I don't mean on video, but like my channel views, so low. It's crazy. It has dropped by like 2,000 views. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know. Everyone's back to work, I guess. I don't know. Okie dokie. Well, I will see you very soon. I'm so sorry that this is so short. I wanted to make it to 30 minutes, but honestly, I'm knackered. Okay, I will see you very soon. Have the best morning or evening wherever this finds you, and I'll be back. I'll try to be back tomorrow. I don't know. I'll find a way. Okay. Bye.